Hello Mallards, it is Wednesday and that can mean only one thing. It's time to talk about the final episode of Moon Knight. I don't know what I'm going to do for my video next Wednesday now that this episode and show is over. Like, I'm going to be sad. Not that there won't be more Marvel to talk about, because literally like tomorrow, Multiverse of Madness comes out. So I will be seeing the new Doctor Strange movie. I am not seeing it tomorrow. I think I'm probably going to see it this weekend, and when I do, I will make a video about it. That video will be full of spoilers, just like this video is. If you haven't watched episode 6 of Moon Knight, don't watch this video. My first note says, well, this is it, I guess, and I'm not ready. And I stand by that statement now that I have watched the whole thing. I was not ready. My second note says, this is unrelated to Moon Knight, but why is it that bagged popcorn is so good even though it's cold, but as soon as microwave popcorn cools down, it's the worst? That came about because I made a bowl of popcorn to eat while I watched the show, and then the fan was on in my room and it cooled down. It really is, like, it's fine, but like bagged popcorn is so good even though it's already cold. And microwave popcorn, when it gets cold, decreases in quality. Someone should explain that to me. That's been the longest discussion we've had so far about this episode of Moon Knight. Let's actually talk about the episode. The next note I have is, hey, Layla's in the recap. Maybe we'll see her again, which is great. Episode 5 of Moon Knight was really good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really interesting. I liked the dynamics. I liked revisiting the past. I liked getting the answers that we got. I enjoyed the way the episode was set up. I liked all of the little teases. Like, I really liked episode 5 in the same way that I really loved the episode of WandaVision where she goes into Wanda's past and like all of her memories. I think it's fun to see that part of a character and all of that information and sort of get a more human story, which is one of the things that I've always loved about Marvel Comics characters. I feel like even the villains get a lot of humanity and the heroes get like light and dark, and I've always enjoyed that. That being said, last episode didn't have Layla and I missed her, so I was glad she's back. And then Harrow's just like, in his recap being like, I owe my victory to you, and I want to be like, good, pay up. You owe me? Like, pay up. But no, you're not going to. You're just gonna claim that you owe me, like that you owe your victory to me, but then you're gonna claim it all for yourself and you're not even going to pay me back for giving you this victory. So I don't know why you're saying this. Anyway, and then I wrote, no, San Steven, because San Steven is sad. The next note is like one of those memes where it's like, have you seen those memes where it's like everybody and then like a small subsect of people? This is one of those memes. Probably not done correctly. I may be too old for memes, some memes now. But it says, I wrote, the Marvel Studios reel, high octane action shots, flames, battles, Moon Knight. Sad, mellow ballad. The discordant nature of so much of the show is so great. And it is never more obvious than when you're watching that Marvel Studios intro reel with all of its flames and action shots and like punching superheroes. And then the music is just slow and mellow and sad. And then Layla's crying. And I do feel bad that she's crying, but also, woman, this is all your fault, because if you just take an omelet and run instead of feeling the need to hash out the whole dad thing, this wouldn't be happening at all. And then Harrow just being like, I'm sorry this had to happen, Mark. No, you're not, because it could have gone a lot of ways and none of them had to end in you shooting him, so like, don't pretend you're sorry. But then he does this cool thing where he transforms the double-headed Amit cane into an axe, which I thought was kind of neat. It was a neat trick. Did it need to do that? No. No, literally not at all. In fact, I think in the whole episode, Harrow doesn't use it as an axe ever. Like, I thought that he had done it because I thought that he was transforming it into the axe and then he was going to use the axe to smash Amit's statue and free her, right? Not what happened. He instead, like, took the statue because they needed to take it somewhere else to free her. You have to be in the Great Pyramid of Giza for some reason. And he used the axe in the same way he used the staff to, like, stab it into the ground, right? But I don't think he used it as an axe the whole time it was an axe. So why did it transform? Just because that looked cool? I don't know. I'm not saying it's a bad choice. I think it's a fine choice, and it was used by another character. But the other character, and you know, we'll get into that, like, Moon Knight did use it, presumably as an axe. Like, he was holding it sharpened over Harrow, but he hadn't used it yet. Like, he hadn't actually hit him with the axe, which means even Moon Knight didn't use it. So why did it turn into an axe? Just wondering. Like, it's cool. I liked it visually. I just didn't see a reason for it. Maybe I'm taking stuff too seriously now. Anyway, moving on. Oh, my next thing says, that's right, Layla. You go get Mark and you cry for what you effed up, and then you pull yourself together and you take down Harrow, because that is the kind of bamf that you are, and we are about to watch it happen, and I love it. Oh, and also you could let Khonshu out if you have a moment, because, like, maybe he can bring Mark / Stephen back to life, and that would be nice. And then Harrow gets stopped by the government, and I was like, yeah, look at this bureaucracy tying up the loose ends and making it hard for you to bring a goddess back to life. Sometimes we enjoy that. And then he just, like, stabs his cane, now turned axe, into the ground, and all but one of the soldiers die, because one of the soldiers did have a good, clean soul. Who knew? And then Layla is there, and she's, like, got her knife, and she's gonna kill him, and then our favorite character, and by ours, I mean, obviously, just mine, but should also be yours, Tawet, is back, and we love her. She's cute and adorable, even when she's not a hippo and instead is just a corpse talking. Because I stan her and everything she does is beautiful. And so I enjoy her even when she's a corpse. And that was really fun. And then they make it to the Great Pyramid of Giza, and Harrow, like, opens it up, and then there are all of the avatars of the other gods being like, no, you're doing a bad thing. Wow. Wow, if only, like, 3 episodes ago, when Mark and Stephen had come to you and been like, hey, Harrow's trying to do a bad thing, and you were all like, no, come on, that can't possibly be true. Khonshu's overreacting. And now you're all like, oh no, Harrow's doing a bad thing. And then he kills you all. I'm like, I should feel sad about that, but I don't, because you deserved it. Should have listened. No, you just let him pull the wool over your eyes, and now you're paying the price. So, sorry, sucks to suck. And then they do free Amit, not by smashing with the axe, just by throwing it on the ground. And Amit looks really cool. I do like the way the gods look in this. Like, I have enjoyed the way that all of them look. And Amit looks really cool. Like, she was so neat. I really liked her. And then there's this beautiful moment where she's talking to Harrow, and I was like, wow, you free a goddess because you believe in what she stands for. And here she is being like, yeah, I know that I stand for weighing people's souls and, like, sending them to the underworld, even if they haven't done anything wrong yet, because they're going to do something wrong in the future, you know, and I believe that I should stop them from doing that by sending their souls. However, you who set me free, you are also unbalanced and definitely going to be doing something bad and, like, are totally a problem. And therefore, according to my philosophy, which you have been living by this entire time, you should absolutely right now be banished to the Duat to spend eternity on the sands. But I maybe kind of need an avatar. And the last time I got an avatar whose scales were balanced, he was like, girl, you tripping and you're causing problems. And so like, we're going to lock you in a stone for 2,000 years. So this time I was thinking, what if I abandoned my entire philosophy and belief system and chose you to be my avatar instead, even though technically I should be sending you to the Duat. And also, even though that's what you've believed this whole time, I was just gonna ignore that because I have free will to make choices and decide to do things that are like questionable, but no one else does because I'm gonna stop all of them except for you because I like you. And that's how that went down. Also, you know, Amit tossed her hair like that. Like I was reenacting it adequately, I think. In fact, almost like word for word. And that's how that went down. And all I was thinking was, is this awesome? Or as Harrow, does it just completely F up everything you stand for? And I'm going to go with the latter. But I'm also going to go with, is this a commentary like on institutional religion? Or perhaps a commentary on political parties? Or perhaps you're going to say it wasn't a commentary, but I'm going to stand over here and be like, I think that hypocrisy was pointed. And that also I agree with it. But I do feel that Amit just showed up and was like, okay, so I do believe these things, but I only believe them for the people that I don't like. And I like you. So I don't believe them for you. Keep living your life, being a baddie. Okay. Anyway, moving on from that. Then Layla takes the Khonshu statue and she's like, smash. And Khonshu's like, great, you freed me, Layla. You're going to be my avatar. And Layla says, yeah, screw you. Because she's smart and she is not falling for that. And she's like, no, you figure your own stuff out, Khonshu. I refuse to be your avatar. I've seen how that worked out for people and it was not good. And then Khonshu's all like, but I need an avatar. And if I don't have one, then I'm not really strong enough. And Layla's like, well, bring Mark back from the dead then and figure it out. Because I'm not helping you. And Khonshu's like, fine. I'm just going to disappear over here. And then decides to be completely not subtle and just be like, hey, Amit, I'm here. And I don't have an avatar, but I'm going to fight you anyway. And then they're like, we're going to have a talk. And we're going to have this talk because we need to have this discussion so the audience can go see what's going on with Mark. And then we go back to Mark. And we're like, aw, Mark is there in his peaceful field. And he's like, I'm already bored. I've been here like maybe 60 seconds. And I can tell that I hate peace. And I don't want it. So I'm going to go back and find Steven. And meanwhile, Taweret is like, oh, but don't. That's so sad, Taweret. And he's like, I'm sorry, Taweret, but I can't do peace. I need to go find Steven. And then he just like runs back into the sand. And we're like, aw, we knew this was going to happen. Because if he chose peace, it'd be a weird ending to the show. So he goes back into the sand and he gives a speech to Steven. And then he holds his hand and then their heart glows. And then Osiris, being a softie, like opens the door for them to return to the land of the living. It's really cute. Also, there's this bit where Mark says to Steven that like Steven's existence and therefore having DID is his one true superpower. And I do not have dissociative identity disorder. And so I don't want to speak for people who do. But I am curious how people who do have DID feel about that as a line. So I just want to know. So if you or anybody you know has DID and would like to talk about it, like obviously if you're not interested in talking about it, please don't. But if you do and you have opinions that you want to share, I'd be interested. And then they go, woohoo, hippo! And that just made my life better. Because Taweret is the best. And then he's back, baby. And he's going to go take down a guard. And he transforms into Moon Knight. And then he quick changes into Mr. Knight, Stephen Grant's version of Moon Knight, and then he's back, and they're just popping and popping and popping. And then Khonshu's there, and he's like, hey. And Mark's like, Layla turned you down, didn't she? And I loved that. One of the best lines in the whole episode. Hilarious. And then he's just like flashing back and forth between Stephen and Mark and being like, listen, we need to work out a new deal, okay? Because now we both know you're here, and like the last deal was terrible, and now we're back to life. So like, we're gonna help you, and we're gonna be your avatar, but then after this, we're done. And then Khonshu agrees to that way too fast, which made me heckin' suspicious. And then he's like, how do I get to Cairo? And he's like, I am the god of the night sky. And then they do some sort of moon teleportation is what I thought it was. But it turns out he just flies. But like, that whole shot confused me. And does being the god of the night sky mean you can fly? Like, I don't see how those two correlate. I feel like Khonshu did not give me the information. Like, and also, you're the god of the night sky. Can everybody who's a god of the sky fly? Is it just a flying thing? So, like, is there a god of the daytime sky? And can they also fly? So if you're a god of the sky, you can just fly. I mean, that sort of does make sense, I guess. And also, if he could fly, like, how come we weren't doing that before? Or is that how he got to Cairo to begin with? And we just didn't see that because we were busy being Stephen. Can Moon Knight fly in the comics? Is that just a thing? Does he fly? Anyway, it was cool. It was fun to watch him fly. And then Layla agrees to be the avatar for Tawayet. And then Tawayet's so excited and definitely too loud and gets them caught, which was really sad, but also really cute. And then I don't know how to say the actress who plays Layla. Her first name is May. And then I think it's Calamay? I'm not sure how to say her last name. But she does an incredible job with the like initial acceptance of being the avatar, where she's like being herself and then being Tawayet and like holding herself completely differently as the hippo, and all of the body language and all of the changes between like exhausted human and like excited hippo. It was really fun to watch. I loved it. She's doing so good. And then we flash outside where Ammit is getting big, and it's like the end of a Power Rangers episode. She's like eating all the souls that all the Ammit followers are turning over, and then as she eats the souls, she just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until she's the same size as the Great Pyramid. Because like I said, this is the end of a Power Rangers episode. And then Layla becomes an avatar, and she gets an awesome outfit with these cool sword wings that she just swings out, and those were my favorite part. Like, it's swords in her hands, and then when she shakes them out, there are these wings, and she looks awesome. I was really into it. And then Khonshu got big too, which proved to me that it really is the end of a Power Rangers episode. And then Stephen and Mark are like showing up, and they like, Layla saves them by knocking out Harrow, and then she's there, and they're all like facing off. And Mark's like, wow, I'm so excited to see you, Layla. I love you so much. And then Stephen like pops in, and he's like, whoa, your outfit's really cool. And it was just so cute. Like, the three of them, so cute. So cute. And then Stephen being like, I have accepted that Mark and I are the same, and therefore I have skills too. And the seamless transitions between like Moon Knight and Mr. Knight, and the way this entire fight sequence was done was so cool. Like, it was fun to watch the transition happen, watch how the shift of outfit helped them in the fights, because like the Moon Knight outfit has this big cape and the Mr. Knight outfit doesn't. So like, if the cape was a problem, he would turn into Stephen to like make the cape disappear, and that would let people fall off. Or if he needed it, he'd transform back, and they're both using the sticks to fight. And it was just really, really cool. I liked the way the whole sequence was set out, and also Layla being awesome. So like, watching all of them fight, really freaking cool. And then Layla saves this girl, and this girl is like, are you an Egyptian superhero? And she's like, yeah, I am. And I'm like, yes, you are. And I love it. So good. And that little girl's face, like, after Layla says yes, was so precious and is like an on-screen example of why representation matters, because like she was like, oh, there is an Egyptian superhero, and she was so excited. And that's what it's like when we get representation in media, and also why we need to keep doing it. Just throwing that out there. Then Harrow being all like, no, but Ahmet is the best. And like, if she'd been around, you would be gone, Mark, and your brother would still be alive, and everyone would be happier. And I'm going to disagree with Harrow, because having now learned Mark's entire history, I think Ahmet would have gotten rid of his mother. Because she made some really evil choices, and he was just a kid who messed up. But also maybe would have gotten rid of his mother before he was born. Like, Harrow makes this whole big, like, she only needs to pull out one weed in the garden. Right, but like, you're pulling them out completely, right? Before they have done anything or made those choices. So if you like weeded his mother out, then maybe Mark would never be born, and then his brother wouldn't still be alive. I'm just thinking big here, and you're clearly not, because you worship a goddess who completely betrayed everything she believes in just to have you as an avatar. So whatever. And then my next note says there are some beautiful shots in this, which is true. And so Ahmet and Khonshu like fighting, huge kaiju size style, behind Harrow as he's like walking up to Mark, and like at this Dutch angle, was so pretty. And then Harrow's like, I'm gonna kill you, so I might actually use this axe. And then we flash, and boom, that has to be personality 3. Like, we are getting one. There he is. Neither Steven nor Mark did all of that carnage. Had to be personality 3. And he's almost got Harrow. This is when he almost uses the axe, but still doesn't use it. So why is it an axe? Who knows? And so then that was cool. And then they're like, we got to rush back to the pyramid, and we got to put Ahmet into Harrow's body and trap him there. And Ahmet's like, no, but Khonshu, we could have ruled together. And Khonshu's like, suck it. And then he's like, kill him. And Mark's like, I will. And then Layla's like, but you shouldn't, because you don't want to do that anymore. Mark's like, you're right. I don't. Fine. I won't kill him. But Ahmet's like trapped in his body, so we're not going to let it happen. And then Mark and Steven are like, all right, so we did it. And you said you'd release it. And Khonshu says, fine, I'll release you. And then I wrote, oh, you have to be shitting me. I hate all of you. Because in that moment, they decide to flash us back to the mental hospital. And I don't know why. Like, at all. It doesn't make any sense. Because we found out, like, that was essentially a limbo that Mark had created for himself. So, like, why does he go there? Like, Khonshu should have just been like, nope, there's the suit, gone. And, like, he should still be in his body and aware, so I don't know why he went there. And I hated it. I mean, it did have this moment where he was like, nah, I don't believe you. And then he, like, walks out of it and wakes up in his own bed, which was a powerful moment, but a powerful moment that I did not need in this episode, and that also didn't make sense in this context for me. Somebody else can have different opinions, and that's okay. And so I was like, what is this? Some sort of like weird post-Khonshu dream? Like, this doesn't make any sense. And then he wakes up in Steven's bed in his apartment, and they have this really cute moment where they're like, ugh, I can't believe you live here. And like, it's adorable. And they're talking to each other and like clearly melded. And then they get out of bed, and Steven is still tethered to the bed, and he falls over, and like, end of show. And I wrote, first off, why are there 2 fish? Because that didn't make any sense. And also, why did he wake up in this whole setup? And where's Layla? And why is that the ending? And like, why is he still tethered to the bed? Like, that is something that Steven it's a ritual he did every night, but like Steven has been not Steven in other places. So like, why would he do that ritual anymore? He and Mark are talking to each other. It didn't make any sense. And then I wrote, did Khonshu release Mark and Steven, but keep personality 3? Because his first deal was only with Mark and Steven didn't know about it. But obviously like he still had control of the body. And I was like, I bet that's what's happening. And then I wrote, maybe there will be a post credits. And then my next note says, my favorite part of the credits is the creepy hall montage because they had so many of them and they worked very hard to get all these creepy hallways. And I think they deserve recognition. So I feel good that they're part of the credits. And then my next note says, oh, okay, so I was right about everything. There is a post-credit scene where Jake, the third personality, is still Moon Knight, and therefore so are Mark and Steven without knowing it. And he kills Harrow, which I think is a good way to wrap it up because I know that this is meant to be a limited series and like there's not going to be a season 2 of Moon Knight. It's not designed that way. But I really do hope that we get to see him in other stuff because Oscar Isaac, so good in this. And I want to watch him do more stuff. And also, I miss the living statue man, you know? And I would love to have him back too someday. That'd be really nice. Overall, I am pretty satisfied with the ending and like pleased with the series overall. I had a very enjoyable time watching Moon Knight. I thought that the story that they told was nice, that it is wrapped up pretty nicely. And if we never see the character again, like it's got enough of like a rode off into the sunset feel that I don't feel like I need something, but I would love to have something. The only thing that I feel conflicted about is that when he woke up in his apartment, like there's no finality about what happened with Layla. And I wish that Layla had been in the bed next to him when he woke up, or there had been a message from her, like she'd been calling on the phone or something, because I would like to have something about Layla. But other than that, I really liked it. It was a very enjoyable show. Let me know what you thought about this final episode in the comments down there. And also let me know what Moon Knight comics you recommend me reading, because I want to do that now that I finished the show. Proud of you for sticking with this whole video if you made it this far, and I'll see you tomorrow.